Hi, Virgo. This is your May 2020 reading. More specifically, it is our mid-May 2020 tarot session. We are using the Tarot in Wonderland deck to get started. I absolutely adore this deck. So let's see what is happening for Virgos. Virgo energy, we have the Five of Pentacles to get us started. Sorry about any little bit of shaking, Virgos. And another five, the Five of Water, comes out for you as well. If we need any clarifiers, Virgos, we'll look over here to the Shadowscapes Tarot deck, which I'm also really enjoying lately. We'll just see what comes through for you. This is for Virgos, suns, moons, ascendants, Mars, Venus, etc. Any Virgos, or just any who felt drawn to the title or who are interested in Virgo energy at this time, a particular Virgo energy at this time, maybe. Six of Swords. So let's two fives and a six, Virgos. Four of Water. So we see someone in lack, someone feeling without, someone enduring a loss and needing to move into calmer mental and emotional states. One of those someones, maybe that's all the same individual with two fives on the table. 55 may be particularly significant to you around this time, may hold an additional message for you. Certainly speaks of challenging change to me, challenging shifts. It looks like someone missed or even just sort of relinquished, ignored an important opportunity here. Significant offer, maybe in their life, in the root of this situation, which has led directly to Virgos this feeling of lack. Whether that was you or someone close to you. That individual was then also crossed with loss, in an emotional sense. So they perhaps were already feeling lack in a physical sense. Likely a resource was missing, or time, energy, maybe someone. And then the Hanged Man. And the bottom of the deck, can't say we're shocked to see the Three of Air, the Three of Swords here. Potentially heartbreak. So first of all, before I forget, the same thing goes for 44 and 66, right? We have the Six of Air and the Six of Earth. The Four of Water and the Four of Earth was below the Three of Air on the deck, so I would consider 44 as well. So just like we said about 55, 44, 55, 66, all could be particularly significant, hold an additional message for you around May, mid-May 2020, or whenever the message finds you and resonates, as always. Okay, so it would seem in a chronological order here, if this is the root of our story, and it is, that someone passed up an emotional opportunity, maybe offer is how you would say it and see it. Because they were so focused on what they could not have, what they had already lost, or what they learned was out of their reach. As usual with the Four of Water. And then Virgos, in the current situation, we see, again, as we said already, the lack as a direct result. Someone in need of support, seeking support, having passed up some sort of offer, opportunity for what looked like emotional support, at least. And these may be two different individuals we see here in the first and second card, as it looks like one is being dragged away from the other. But it could also be two aspects of yourself, Virgo, or of the person that this story is centering around, the message is centering around. In which case it really looks like what you hear called fracturing, but essentially, if it is two parts of yourself, Virgo, then it looks like one part is sort of being abandoned. You are unwilling to accept it. You feel you can't move forward with it. And I do feel that the individual who has passed up this offer or opportunity is the one who is lacking. And in seeking support, in going without, in feeling this lack, they may also then experience an emotional loss as well. And if this is the same individual, it looks like they're still focused on the same pursuits, right? 3 cups that they're staring at here, 3 cups that they're reaching for here. As I said, something that's already lost or is essentially spilled milk, or something that's out of their reach. So maybe the same, it may be the exact same things that they're longing for, or they're just setting themselves, it could be you, Virgo, or someone close to you is setting themselves up for that experience again, right? So we definitely want to notice that. And if that is you, then really just go through the experience, because the Three of Air often reminds us that the only way out is through. So just fully experience it. But it does look like it may just be on repeat, or it's something that you can't let go. But I also see that it may be highlighted here that someone else is enduring an emotional loss because of your lack. You can't be around anymore, and someone else is experiencing that loss as well for some of you. It does look like, Virgos, that you are heading toward this calmer mental and emotional state, away from the stress, of that longing, any turmoil connected to that, the guilt, anxiety, any negative ripple effects or bigger waves caused by that. You know, you or this person that your message is centering around. In the near future. So definitely I'd say by the end of the month. Time being fluid, of course, it's always going to be a little bit different for everyone. Your advice here is the Six of Pentacles, to give and receive in a balanced fashion. In a respectful manner. To consider what's being given and what's being taken, what you're taking and what you're giving. Even if you have an overabundance of time or any particular resource, you're advised to inspect what you are giving and taking, and feel that it is balanced. Know and feel that it is balanced, even if there's an abundance. So a lot of you, I know what we're talking about is your own energy. That you have an overabundance of it, so you're very generous with it, and you're not ensuring that there's an equal give and take in all of your energy exchanges, your interactions, your relationships, because you know you have so much energy in some sense to be generous with. Or vice versa, you know, this could be balanced in either direction. Maybe you're giving too much, maybe you're taking too much. Either that, or there's a taker or takers whom you should put in check. It's, you know, it's likely that for a lot of you, and again, this could be you or this could be someone close to you, but for a lot of you Virgos, it's likely that you are you know, interested in these emotional connections, these means of emotional fulfillment that these cups, these three, represent here, and maybe here as well. And there are other emotionally satisfying connections or experiences that you're taking for granted simultaneously as you continue to reach for these things that you've been unable to have for some time. Focus on something that's already been lost, or as we said earlier, just continue to set yourself up for this repeat of that experience, even if it is, you know, say different things you're focused on. It's for some reason needing to learn this lesson or have this experience of ignoring what's right in front of you then and going for what is simply not presently an option. Because it may be, too, also Virgos, sorry about the extra added sound effects, but it may also be here that, you know, you made an offer to someone and they couldn't see that offer because they were so focused on someone else. And now you find yourself seeking support at a time when they are wishing that they hadn't turned your offer down, but circumstances at this time won't allow for the connection you were hoping for. Something like that. It could have, you know, could have been either way, you know, that you were too focused on other things to see a good offer, or that someone else was. And it doesn't necessarily mean that someone regrets this, but I do get the sense that there's this ripple effect, even chain reaction. The withdrawal that we see in the root of the situation may have been absolutely necessary. Still, the lack is a direct result, and the emotional loss seems to be someone wishing for what they just ignored, while they were probably wishing for something that they had previously ignored. That's what I mean by the ripple effect or chain reaction that I see. And I do think, you know, I do think that's the case for some of you Virgos. Whether that's you or someone close to you, someone that you're dealing with directly. And one or both of you is getting right out of this situation. It looks like someone may have a ride out of that cycle. And really, it looks like whatever this is all rooted in, this expression is so pitiful and pained here in the Four of Cups. It looks like there's no way this individual could have possibly seen this other emotional offer. They needed time to, as we said, withdraw and need time to mourn. This individual needs time to mourn those things that they can't have any longer, or just definitely can't have, you know. The withdrawal is necessary, the mourning is necessary. And it's like someone is not allowed to be in withdrawal and go through that emotional mourning period to the full extent. They're sort of being, you know, dragged away, torn away from that experience, because they've got physical lack that they have to deal with. And meanwhile, what we do see is that progress is made. Maybe not the progress that you know we would have expected or would have hoped for, but progress is made, because I see here in the Five of Cups, this expression is much less pitiful, and you know, not only has the support that's available remained, that support has not left. We see there's 2 cups there now. Actually, more support has come to let this individual know that there are satisfying, again, connections, experiences to be had. Yes, they're still reaching for something that's not available, but at this angle, they can also allow the support that is available into their sight. It's not behind them anymore, like it was in the Four of Cups, right? And like I said, they just look a little less pitiful. It's the mourning process, having been allowed to move through some of it. It's so very necessary, is a lot of the message. It may not be a convenient time. It may not be encouraged by everyone that's around you or this individual, but it's very necessary still. And so, yes, the advice can be referring to, is there an equal give and take with you in these connections? Are they people, these emotional connections that have been offering themselves to you and are remaining available to you and sort of seeing you through this withdrawal and mourning period, maybe supporting you even in a physical sense? But, you know, you don't want to disconnect from this part of you that needs to finish this mourning period. You simply want to look for experiences, connections, opportunities to engage with life, with others, where there is an equal give and take, where you are held accountable and feel inspired to hold yourself accountable. But also feel like you can, like others are holding themselves accountable, and like you can expect an equal exchange of energies. For a lot of you, you're just not wanting to sit with how it makes you feel, to accept that you can't have these things that you've been wanting for some time. These things that are out of your reach, that you keep putting there, and you're keeping your eyes on, that are clearly out of reach for one reason or another. For a lot of you, you just don't want to sit with how that makes you feel, and that's where this message comes in, that the only way out, truly out, is through doing that, is through just feeling how it makes you feel, to accept that it's not within reach any longer, it's not an option, or at least that you don't know. maybe more honestly, that you don't know whether or not it will ever be an option or within reach again, right? That it is a mystery, that it is totally out of your control, that it is unknown to you. Something, and I sense very much that it's something that you have always wanted to be very known to you, or maybe that was at one time very known to you. Something that you've always been very sure of, or really wanted to be very sure of. And here is the moment where you have to accept that at this time you're just not sure. You're not sure if it will ever be in reach again. That's what a lot of you are not wanting to sit with. And with this version of the Six of Air here, I see that a lot of you are actually wanting to maybe help someone else. As you're moving through this moving through and trying to move out of this somewhat chaotic space for you. You're helping each other, and that is another reason why you need to notice the equal give and take. If those are supporting, emotionally, physically supportive relationships, you really need to notice the give and take, because you are helping them as well. You're helping each other. They need as much from you and this exchange, this interaction, as you do. You just may be unaware of it. Yeah, a lot of you are trying very, very hard to conserve what energy you have. I mean, you've been mourning, you've been in withdrawal, you've been feeling like you're lacking, you're seeking an equal give and take, you're seeking a balance, you're seeking a way out. And so you're conserving your energy, but you really do need to use that energy to create a good and positive flow with those individuals who have been and are continuing to support you, and are even supporting you on your way out of the situation. Like, as I said, in the sense that you're really helping each other. And that's not to say you have to expend all of your energy. We just were talking about how important it is for you to move through this mourning period. But yeah, again, we're just talking about making sure that there's this equal give and take in your energy exchanges, in your interactions, in your relationships, your connections. Are you getting enough back where you're outputting energy? Are you showing enough gratitude where you're receiving a lot of energy? For a lot of you, are you acknowledging all of where you're receiving a lot of energy? It's just that the mental, like the cerebral strain and the heart ache combined, the worry, the anxiety, the straight turmoil that's in your head and your heart, in your emotional body, and in running through your mental thoughts, and so really just creating this intense throb in your total energy body is taking a toll on you physically. and it is expending a lot of energy really quick. You can sit and do nothing, but with all of that heartache and all of that mental turmoil, and the subsequent anxious stomach ache, etc., you can be getting a lot of energy from people who care about you, or from situations that are actually elevating you, treating you well, without noticing it, because just in sitting and doing nothing with all that heartache and all that mental turmoil, you can just burn all that energy that you're receiving. And so it's, no one's blaming you for not noticing where the energy is coming from, but if it is you that storyline centers around, then there is also the message to just notice where you are actually receiving so much more energy than you've been able to really maybe give thanks for. If, as I said, it's imperceptible because you are expending it just sitting and staring, or have been, as quickly as you're receiving it. And see, what's happening here in your advice card for you to notice is that you may be in a situation, a sort of stalemate, where no one wants to budge, but it's not necessarily because these two sides, two energies, two people, two characters don't meld, don't care about one another, can't merge, work well together, etc., but simply because it seems that their resources, their goods, are being rationed out in such a fashion that they have no choice but to look on eagerly and hungrily and a little pitifully again, in hopes that, the best man or woman get the cookie here. They look to me as though they're not even sure whether they'd rather have this goodie for themselves or for their friend. They're uncertain. Is more coming? They don't exactly look hopeful. They look scared and worried. And so again, we repeat that whomever you're working with, maybe escaping with in a sense, but this person may be going through just as much as you are. And I think ultimately here someone may make a sacrifice, because someone does need to budge, someone does need to give. It's as if maybe both parties are experiencing bad luck and trying to hold on to what they have, but someone in the boat has to expend the energy to row. And if you're not going to row at the same time, then it will be the other's turn next, right? There are jobs for both parties, or for everyone involved here. And I think the only way out is through accepting what is not within reach, and accepting what has to be done to journey onward. And maybe for a lot of you, luckily, that is just that acceptance, and sitting with that emotion of how that feels to accept what's not within reach. But for others, it's that, and then seeing and doing what it is that needs to be done. As I said, you want to hold on to all of your energy. I think anyone involved here has reason to, and yet one and then the other must expend energy if there is some sort of an escape plan to change this situation, to change this energy, maybe to literally journey to somewhere else for some. For many of you, what we see in the Hanged Man in the more distant future is that you'll need to spend even more time, a lengthier period, in continued withdrawal, as you have been doing, it looks like, throughout May, and are doing now, it seems. And there will just be a lengthy, insightful, rewarding meditation period required right? And it will be a period of time where you feel very much suspended in between two things, where you were and where you're going. Because again, this is just about sitting with the emotion of the loss, what may feel like a sacrifice, feeling that fully, experiencing that. There's an emotional truth that cannot be escaped, whereas the physical circumstance, the mental strain and stress, the emotional turmoil can be navigated and moved on from. There's an emotional truth that must just be accepted as part of that process. And then, as I already said, for others though, I do see that with that hangman there in the more distant future, that you're at this standstill with someone, and it's not that you don't care about each other, but someone just needs to budge. No one has resources, no one has time, no one has energy here. I think both individuals care to some extent, at least, to a great extent. For some, it's just a matter of both parties sensing and feeling this lack. And the only way to act, the only way out is through acting honestly, acting in the name of your truth, speaking your truth, wielding your truth, perhaps in a painful manner, meaning maybe needing to tell this person honestly, I think you need to budge. You need to be the one to row the boat first because XYZ, and be ready for them to come back with, hey, what you don't see is that I can't because of ABC. And there may just need to be an honest discussion that is not fun. That may be part of the only way out is through just wielding your truth. Say it how you see it. And I think that, you want to be careful with that. Make sure you have really evaluated the situation honestly to begin with before you simply point a finger, because you can, because as I said, I keep receiving the message that you may be going through something that is so intense that you need to hear this to know that this other person is as well. And it may not be all on you. It may not just be that you're in pain and you don't see it, which that can happen to all of us. But if it is you, again, this could be the other person. This could always be flip-flopped. But if it is you, it could be that they're hiding it as well, right? They may not want you or anyone to see that. So Virgos, we will leave your message for mid-May 2020 there. And I love you. And I do hope that at least some of the needed insight was able to reach you here. Information on personal readings will be down below in the description box. And I can't wait to do another reading for you, Virgos. Until then.